Yeah, so I got one of my good friends and one of my first clients from this past summer, Nathan,
Yeah.
who used to be a hooper, still hoops from
Yeah.
time to
Still
time,
am, still am. Yeah.
still hooping. And he runs his own photography business, Swish
Yeah.
Pix, which definitely go check that out because he's got some insane photos on there. And you're branching off into videography now as well, right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Videography, have a bunch of other things in the pipeline. It's constantly expanding. Yeah.
Nice. Sick, man. Well, we're gonna go over quickly just
100%.
what we did with coaching and um so we started working together uh just this past summer.
hmm
I mean, like actually working together. But
Yeah.
before I kind of
Started
like
started in started in April, like end of April.
yeah, end of April. But before that we'd worked together and that's how you and I met. But
hmm
what was going on with your training, nutrition, your general fitness and health before we started working together?
Yeah. So that year, I'd say the year leading up to April, where like I was still consistent in the gym. I would be going 5, 6 times a week, but my training wasn't dialed. I would still be following programs, but it wasn't what was good for me. Because also that was the thing I found was being at my height and my weight and who I am, being 6'6" and 200 and 40 pounds at the time, 235 pounds is a lot of advice that I go to online is people who are 5'8" and all these other things. So exercises that they do, nutrition that they do is going to be very, very different from what I do. Most people are eating less than 200 grams of protein a day. They're eating 180. I have to eat like 260 to put on weight. So I just kind of fluctuated between basically being fluffy and fat, but still being kind of strong, but not where I should be for what the weight I was at. And
Right.
then so I just had like low energy, didn't have a good structure within meals. I'd eat clean for 5 days, and then the 2 days on the weekend, everything would go out the window.
Right.
Binge eat or wouldn't track anything. And then it obviously just kind of resets me my whole week again. So then I just go back to clean eating for 5 days, then reset. It just never was properly structured.
Right. So it just kind of felt like a little bit of a cycle.
100%. Yeah, it was just a
Right.
cycle for basically a whole year where it was like, okay, like I'm fit, but I'm
Yeah.
not like I don't look good. Like I don't want to like not confident within my body, you
Yeah.
know, those types of things.
So you just weren't feeling, you were just kind of feeling like it wasn't working, just kind of feeling
Yeah.
like a little bit lost with that.
Yeah, and especially
Right.
especially with travel and especially with like work and stuff like that. It's long hours, long days, so I make excuses to be like, okay, like, this doesn't matter, this doesn't matter. Just nothing was sustainable.
Right. Right. So you were, because, being 6'6", like exercise selection didn't feel like you were on point with that. Um,
No.
and weight wise, you were up in like the 230s, right? You mentioned,
Yeah,
uh,
230s, 240s. I would just fluctuate a lot.
yeah. How did your energy levels feel from like week to week or day to day?
Just just low. Like I
Yeah.
just, mood shifts a lot. Energy levels were, I'd be tired at the end of the day of doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like I did nothing all day, but I'm tired. And I'm like, okay, this doesn't make sense. Like I hadn't
Yeah.
even worked out. I just woke up. And I'm like, okay, this sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Um, and I know the answer to this because like I'm gonna ask it anyways. Like, why'd you reach out to me over any other
Yeah.
coach? But Nathan, just to give you guys context, Nathan and I worked together at a
Yeah.
supplement company. He worked in marketing and also managed our athletes. Amongst, I kind of did. You kind of did everything in marketing.
I
To be
did.
honest, you
I
were
worked
basically
I
running
worked
that show.
I did 6 jobs basically, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
no,
we had
like
a
I think for like to answer that question is like I've looked at fitness coaches because obviously like I'm in that space, so that's all the
yeah.
content I consume. I mean, that's even a lot of my clients are fitness coaches. And I think what resonated with me was they all either were strictly like bodybuilding or strictly, like they were one thing. And what I resonated with was that you were an athlete. You've been at a high level athlete. I never was like a high level athlete, but I've played very competitive for years and years and years. That I wanted to still maintain size and still have some bodybuilding regimens, but with a mixture of where my body is functional and where when I go on the court, I'm not hurting, my knees aren't hurting, my like, my ankles aren't hurting because there's still a tiny bit, there's still like, doses of those functional training within what I was doing. And that's like with a lot of what your stuff, and that's kind of what wanted me to reach out and be like, hey, okay, let's lock in, let's take this seriously. Let's actually like, I'm tired of being this like in this, state of unknown.
Right. Kind
And
of a
so that's kind
limits.
of the basic answer is like I was able to do something where it helped a lot of parts of my life. And especially like one answer that I'll give is with physiotherapy. I've been through like a lot of physios. And the one physio I have now is my favorite one because he gives me building blocks to basically not see him again. Now that's now as like a fitness coach, obviously I know like you want to have me on forever, but at the same time, I like it because you give me the knowledge to then eventually move forward if I choose so on my own.
Yeah,
And that's I
100%.
think that's something that a lot of fitness coaches don't do, which is which is just they give you what you need in that moment, but don't teach you about your body, about supplementation, about nutrition, about training, about even little things like, vitamin D supplementation when it's winter time. Like I always have like terrible seasonal depression as soon as like it gets dark out. Now that's one thing I've noticed a difference in is like, since we started working like supplementation of like actually taking things because you actually need them, not just because TikTok or Instagram said, this fitness mom is taking this. You should take 57 of these things, you know?
Yep, right. Um, was there any, I guess, working in the fitness space, was there any
Yeah.
hesitation? Do you have any hesitations with not just working with
Oh,
me, but
yeah.
just even reaching out to a coach in general?
I think the biggest hesitation is like, I don't want to be a dollar figure. Like at the end of the day, it's like the same, especially because I work in a client space as well. Like my clients to me aren't dollars, they're relationships. And that's something that I value in my work. And that's something I wanted to be valued in something that I'm putting my time and money into is like if I'm putting money into, I want to get that value back, if not more. I think that's everyone's kind of goal. And so my first hesitation was like, okay, cool. Like if you have, all these other clients that you're working with, am I going to be given the same attention, if not maybe even a little more? Like, will I get my value or am I just going to be seen, the first week I'm going to get like a ton of stuff and then all of a sudden just go down for the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Like it's just
Right,
gonna be okay, little to no communication, no guidance, just a AI plan. That's kind of my biggest thing.
right. How did you, I guess, given that, how did you actually overcome that fear and actually pull the trigger?
I would say just talking to you about it, talking about my goals, talking about what I wanted to do. Because I think that's at the end of the day, the biggest thing is just you just need to have that conversation.
Mhm.
And I think that's what a lot of people stop at is they don't take that next step because they're like, okay, well, I don't want to sound dumb.
Right.
But like that's why you need a coach. That's why like you go to school, like because you need to learn. And yes, like you can kind of learn on your own, but you think about it like I could learn so much more in the 3 months that I worked with you than the 3 years that it would probably take me to learn the exact same things because I don't even know what questions to ask online. I don't even know what questions to
Right.
put into Google. But with you, I say, I'm really depressed in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And it's boom, it's like boom, it's like, okay, well, have you tried vitamin D supplementation? Have you done this? And it's like, I didn't even know about that type of stuff. So it's like little things like that that I learned then like how to ask questions. So maybe something else comes up and I'm like, okay, well, it was kind of linked to what Ish said about this. Maybe if I try to find out another question, like figure, now I kind of have the arsenal. You're giving me the tools. Like that's the biggest thing.
Right. Connecting the dots yourself, which is
Exactly, exactly,
gold.
exactly. And the other thing I would say to that point exactly too is I'm not just connecting the dots, but you're also identifying new dots. Just so I can then like almost do it myself, which is the best thing. It's like it's a really good push and pull where it's not just like you're not just telling me all the answers right away, but you're
Right.
giving me these tools to then almost like do that internal work myself.
Right. I think that's at the core of it, what coaching is too, which is like something that I'm
Hmm.
even reading a book about right now. Coaching habit is helping other people, not just like telling them what to do, because that
Yeah,
kind of doesn't really like it's like that idea of give a man a fish versus teach a man to fish, right?
exactly. Well, and
So,
like we both come from sports backgrounds. We've played sports our whole life. We've been through tens of 20s of coaches. And the best coaches are the ones that say, you know, this is something you struggle with, and here are some of the tools to get better at that skill. They don't
right,
just, give you the answer and then you're just magically find it. You have to put in that work and do it on your own and fail
right,
and try. And that's the thing that I kind of resonate a lot too with this.
right. You're not just executing on a fitness plan, you're trying to leverage what works best for you in your
And
context.
that's and exactly like I'll expand on that too because I travel. I mean, since we started in April, I was in Bali, I was in New York, I was in LA, I was in like Miami, I was in
Yeah,
Alberta, like I was traveling all these places, but yet like I made it sustainable because we made a plan where it was like, okay, like
yeah,
you're not going to be able to always hit your macros. You're not going to be able to always find a gym, but it was able to like fit still in my plan where I was like, hey, like, okay, at least if I can get close to it or try my best,
right,
like, and that was something I would say that this helped the most was it got over a lot of my mental barriers, which was as soon as I saw that scale rate go up, like I've been going down, and as soon as I saw the scale go up like 2 pounds, 3 pounds, I was like, oh fuck, it's all out the window.
right,
Like let's progress is done. We're cooked. And then the next day I'm like crash dieting, like I'm eating nothing because I want to like get back down to that number. But then all I realized you were like, hey, like, did you have a lot of sodium the day before? Were you high stress? Were you flying? Were you like all these other things? There are these like I didn't even know that there could be so many other reasons, even if I was like for 7 days straight hitting all my macros and then somehow I gain weight. But it's
right,
because I had, a lot of electrolytes that day. And I had a lot of high sodium intake or a lot of stress in my body, inflammation because I played basketball the day before. My legs are, super shot. So they're
yeah,
holding a lot of fluid. And it's like that helped me realize it was like, okay, cool. Like, I'd come back from a trip and I'd be up like 3, 4 pounds. Give it a week, I'm down now again.
yeah,
And I became or I developed a much healthier relationship with my body, but also a much healthier relationship with food
right,
because which that's what I struggled with a lot growing up was I was super, super overweight and I had a terrible relationship for food, I would say for honestly most of my life up until quite recently. And so that's the best part about all of this was I was able to kind of develop a great relationship with my body, a great relationship with food where I can still go out and still have great meals with friends and not like go home and be like, oh my gosh, I did this, I did something bad. Like, because at the end of the day, I want to live my life
right,
and I don't want to live it in it's like it's got to be like restricted. If I'm traveling to
right.
these places, I want to experience them.
Yeah,
I want to
100%.
have
Yeah,
have good food. I don't want to be eating chicken and rice or chicken and potatoes like while I'm in Bali or in Miami. Like all these like I'm gonna go experience food and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna like maybe have some drinks, but I'm gonna know that my plan is sustainable. So once I'm done that, I can have my fun and then I go right back to where I was. And it's worked. I mean, in
right.
the 3 months that we worked together, I traveled like I was doing road trips, I was doing all these crazy different things, and I was still managed to lose like 27 pounds.
Yeah,
or something
Crazy.
like that. I can't do I can't do math in my head right now.
Yeah.
But but yeah, like I lost like a ton of weight and was still like, I know the biggest thing we talked about is energy levels. The entire time I was eating a pretty aggressive cut, and I felt like I was still doing really well. Like I was like,
Nice.
I'm bouncing around, my sleep is still good. Like, there's like obviously when you're cutting, like there's going to be trade-offs. There's going to be things that you're
Yeah.
going to experience. But I never felt that I was like, I can't sustain this. Like I'm like, once we set up that timeline and we're like, oh, like it's going to be 3 or so months. There wasn't in my head, I wasn't looking at that 12th week being like, oh, I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to
Yeah.
get there. Can't wait to get there. I mean, we even extended it a few extra weeks. Like, we did,
Yeah.
I think it ended up being like 15 just
Yeah.
because I wanted to just kind of cap it off a little more.
Yeah.
And so that I was like, cool. And I had no problem with that because it was just like I said, like routine was just built right
Yeah.
out the gate.
So like top three things that you would say is like just to go back to that, because you already mentioned a few of them, the top three things that you got out of the program were obviously like you lost the weight.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing I heard from that was a relationship with food. And then
Yeah.
also learning how to still make progress even when the situation isn't perfect, right? Um,
Yeah.
because that's I think what a lot of people get hung up on is like, oh, I'm doing this plan. I can't deviate from this plan or
Yeah.
everything gets screwed up, right? Which is a mistaken perspective, right? It's like we shifted that belief around that because then it's like, okay, I'm still making progress, but the situation isn't perfect. I'm still eating out. I'm still enjoying the food wherever I'm going, which
Yeah.
I'm laughing about when you listed off like places you visited, like Bali, New York, LA,
Yeah.
Alberta, and I'm like, no shade to Alberta. I was like,
Yeah, there's not much
um,
food there, just beer.
yeah, but yeah, and then but I think the other biggest thing was like your energy levels were still good,
Huge,
which is I think
huge.
like underappreciated. I think with people in fitness who are trying to cut, they always feel irritable, um, and they get emotional regulation kind of falls out the window because they're in such a deficit,
Totally.
right? And but it's also that sense of restriction which we want to kind of
Hmm.
avoid, right?
Well,
But
exactly.
but yeah, I guess like what do you uh what are you feeling now that the coaching program is done? Like, and you know, obviously you have all these results now. But how do you feel moving forward with all that?
Oh, just like 10 times better than what I could expect it to be. Because I think my biggest thing also too, like kind of going back to your initial question of like, what was my hesitation was, okay, I know that we can get the results in the timeline that I want because like I'm ready to do it. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I knew I was ready to commit and really give it my, but it was, can I maintain them after? Can I keep them? Can I, if not, get them better? And we finished in July, I like mid-July. I think it was like July 15th because I remember it because I was looking amazing. So it's obviously like a big thing I'm proud of.
Yeah,
But since then, so for context to give some statistics, I went from 235 to 213 pounds in 3 months, three and a bit. And since then, so since July 15th and today's now almost November, it's November 15th. So that's August, like that's almost 4.5 months, whatever, five
yeah,
months. I'm only up like 4 to 5 pounds in
crazy.
5 months, but I'm eating more, 100 calories from my deficit, and I'm actually losing weight now. So so it's like that's the best thing. And like everything's sustainable. Like, I go out and I'm like, I don't really like I don't look at food and be like, the idea of food is better than the actual like having it. Like I
Right.
don't go out and be like, man, I just want to like devour just a bunch of donuts or a bunch of cookies. Like
Yeah.
the idea of it is just so much better than it actually is because my diet that I've built with you
Yeah.
was great. I was like, oh, I look forward to eating this. Like I'm excited. One,
Yeah.
because I also was hungry, but two,
Yeah.
because the meals were good.
Yeah.
And it was like the biggest thing. And the one thing I'll add to that too, which I learned really well with you, was fueling my workouts and then fueling my post. That probably made the biggest difference because for so long I would just eat nothing and then try to
Yeah.
train and then wonder why I'm not getting a good pump. I'm underperforming. My lifts are in like fluctuating like crazy. And then now it's like, oh, every week I made progress, even into the deepest part of my cut. Like simple things like dips. I wanted to do better at body weight. So dips, I was like getting like six at like 235. And then by the time I was at 213, I was doing, three sets of 12 to 16. And like I was making progress when in most people that like once they understand cutting, um, pause this. Do we want to hop on a different one and restart?
Oh no, we're good. We're good now.
Oh, you're good now?
Yeah, good now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, like most people that like once you understand kind of your body, you understand like especially cutting if you've done it properly before is like you almost have to expect to either maintain your strength or you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
And for me, it was the opposite. I actually grew my strength and I lost weight, which was awesome. So I was like, oh, best of both worlds.
Yeah.
That's like, and that's the thing. And then same thing with pull-ups. I mean, I sucked at pull-ups. I could get maybe two at 235. Now, like obviously, yeah, I'm lighter, so it makes sense, but like they're strict and I can get like good 5 to 6. To many that not seem like like a lot, but whoever does pull-ups, like they're fucking hard.
Dude, well, and especially when you're 220 pounds, like, you know
Yeah,
what I
220
mean?
pounds at 6'6". Like my reach
Yeah.
is insane. So
Yeah, you're not a 150-pound calisthenics guy, like so.
exactly. I'm not 5'3" and like,
Yeah.
moving like crazy. But
Yeah.
that was the biggest thing was I was like, okay, like all of these functional things. And the biggest thing I'll say was uh I ran in September, I ran a Spartan race. And so for those that don't know what it is, it's basically a Tough Mudder, or it's basically like it was a 10-kilometer race with 25 obstacles. You go through mud, you carry barrels, you carry rocks, you go up hills, you army crawl under barbed wire. It's rough and it's intense. Ish ran it with me one year, and he
Yeah.
knows very well.
Oh, dude, that
And
that was insane.
it's not for the lighthearted, but the biggest thing I found was I uh I was able to shave off 45 minutes off my time from the 10K prior the year before and then to this
Yeah,
year. And so that was like crazy. Like I was like
same.
my speed was consistent, my like ability was just like so that was where it translated, kind of going back to what we talked about early on is like I'm competitive, like I still want to be functional. And I think that
Yeah,
was the biggest test right there. Was like,
right.
cool, I've been training more like a bodybuilder. I've been in a phase where now I'm losing a lot of weight. And so my body is depleted. And so by when September came around, I was like, okay, like let's see how I perform now, like, with this new body in some sense. And it blew away my expectations. I went into that race being like, I just want to finish. I knew I was going to finish, but I was like, if I can get 10 minutes, I was like 10 minutes off my time was like my biggest goal. And then I realized it was like 45. I was like, holy crap, like we were moving.
That's
And it
awesome.
wasn't, but it wasn't like I didn't have a watch or anything. Like it wasn't like I was trying. I had no idea
Right.
what time it was. That was just purely like my body was primed. My body was feeling good. Like
Yeah.
and and actually I'll add to that. I was sick the entire week leading up to that race, and I was sick during that race. So I actually even think I could have done better.
Damn.
So yeah,
Body
so
was just in
like
a much better spot, hey? That's
oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like I think like, you know, like I was like having trouble like breathing at some point. So like to the extent of
yeah.
like I was sick. So like, I always laugh because I'm like, wow, like what if I was in like peak condition? Because I would think
Yeah.
I was only probably 75% when I ran that race.
That's
So
nuts.
yeah,
That's
so
pretty
that's the thing.
awesome.
Like out of all this training, I'm like, Like I look great. I'm able to maintain my my look. Like I'm way happier. I'm way like energy levels are higher. Plus now like I'm eating more food as we did a rebound and it worked perfectly. I think like that was the biggest thing was like learning how to rebound as well. Because when I went online, this is actually I think where the biggest thing came in. When I went online, a lot of people just said, okay, just go back to maintenance or go right into your surplus. So for me, like previous surpluses have been like 4K or 4,000
Right.
calories. You know, my cut was 2,700. So that's 1,300 extra calories basically if I was like to go
Yeah.
to my aggressive surplus. And I would have lost all my progress because my metabolism, all of this, by the way, which I've learned from you during this while I repeat all this, my metabolism was way lower because I was cutting it. My body then starts to, slow down the metabolism because it thinks it's survival in some sense.
Yeah. Yeah. You
So as
downregulate
soon as,
behavior, right? Like you're also
Mhm.
less, I think the big thing is like you're just less tissue. So you're
Yeah,
expending less calories, right? Like it's
yeah,
just like a 200-pound person burns less calories at less than 250-pound person, right? So
Mhm.
your maintenance, your deficit to get to a certain weight is your new maintenance essentially, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah, and that's why I say now, like, we rebound properly where it was all we did was we just added 100 calories per month. That's it.
yeah,
So started 27, then went to 28, went to, 29, now at 3,000, kind of going into 31. Um, and I'm losing weight. Like I was sick this whole last week
yeah.
and hadn't worked out for a week and a half and I was losing weight. Like, and I was eating all my calories, I was eating all my protein, hitting my
Right.
macros, and I was losing weight still. So I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
I'm losing
That's
weight,
crazy.
and I got down to 215 at 3,100 calories. So that's 4,400 more calories than what I was eating at my deficit. And I almost was 2 pounds away from when I was at my lowest. So it's like,
That's nuts. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that was the
That's
craziest part.
that's the magic of like well, I shouldn't say magic. That's the science of, physiology and metabolism is I think what a lot of people forget is when they go into these big deficits,
Yeah,
there's gonna your body will your not just your physiology will fight against you, but your psychology will fight against you, right? Which is why some people go into what you had mentioned before, these binge cycles where
yeah,
they're eating at a deficit for during the week, and then weekend comes around, their hunger signals are so high,
yeah,
right? So that I think is like super telling, right? Is like your hunger signaling has essentially kind of evened out to
yeah,
to to adapt to this new lower weight, right? And your metabolism is a much healthier position that you're still, you know, even though you're not trying to lose weight anymore or trying to lean out anymore, it's still firing, right?
exactly. And the best part too, like even after my Spartan race, like it's tradition to go get like the most disgusting food possible. Like we burn so many calories, we're just gonna go
Yeah.
binge eat whatever. And so we went to the Cheesecake Factory and had like these deep fried cheese balls, a burger, and cheesecake, probably like 4,000 calories. And after I ate it, I was like,
Yeah.
I legitimately just missed my diet because it was so sustainable and so nice that I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, this like the idea of eating all that food was so much better than when I actually had it. And so now, like, like the same thing. Like it's just like my relationship with it. Like if I go out, yeah, if we want to get some ice cream, sure, we'll get some ice cream. But I don't feel guilty. And then the next day, I just am like perfectly fine. I'm back to my routine because I know my
Right.
body, even if I go up a little bit, it'll be
Yeah.
perfect. It'll be fine in less than a week.
Right.
And so
And
like
I
that's the biggest thing.
I also want to touch on like during that um at the end of summer, like even after we started working together, your energy levels were a lot better. I mean,
Oh yeah.
your business also started kind of taking off too, right? Like,
Oh yeah, like it's been tenfold. I mean, that's the biggest thing too. Like I am very client facing.
yeah,
And so that's the I need to be on. Like there's shoot days where they're 8, 10 hour days all in front of client. And when I'm in a lower expenditure, like my calories are low, like, how am I going to function? Is it going to affect
yeah,
my business because I need to make money? And that was the biggest thing I found was had no impact. I was happier. I was like visibly like looked better. And business allowed me, like like I said, more energy. Like, I'd have a whole day. I work out in the mornings. I then go to somewhere, or I go to a shoot, or I like go to a coffee shop. I start editing, and then like I'm editing all the way into the night. Sometimes I'm editing at 2 a.m. in the morning, and I'm perfectly happy just
Yeah.
listening to music. I'm just like, okay, wow. Like I woke up at 6 today, and it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
and and that's been a couple times where I'm like, oh wow, like this is like easy. And like that's no, I'm not like supplementing like an egregious amount of caffeine. Like I have pre-workouts, so like I'll preface with that. But I'm not
Yeah.
like, 1:30 in the morning pounding back Red Bulls or something like that and being like,
Yeah.
wow, this is life's great, while I'm just like crawling on the ceiling.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. No kidding.
yeah,
Remember we I think too, what a lot of people forget is like people when you're fit and you're lean, not only you're more confident, but I feel also people treat you differently,
I
right?
was literally actually, that was what I was about to say. Like I would walk into rooms, or I'd walk into calls, or I'd walk into like negotiations or deals, and the way I was perceived even 6 months ago to the way I'm perceived now is way different. But I also think that's also a self-perception as well. Because when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, yeah, that's a badass motherfucker right there. Like, he looks good. Like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't they want to work with me? And that's the type of thing where it's like, I think a lot of people, when it comes to fitness, they think that it's just going to be the benefit of fitness or their health.
Right.
And in reality, absolutely. But when you actually are in it, you realize, like, I mean, this entire time, I've talked about probably more things related to just my results and like the way I felt rather than just the actual weight goal itself, being like, I just want to
Yeah.
get smaller.
Yeah.
But like, I've talked about energy. I've talked about it's made me money. Like, it's given me more time with friends. Like, there's so many other benefits that it gave me that I didn't even sign up for.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's the value, that like why I kind of chose to work with you, because I knew there was going to be value beyond what I paid for. And I mean, hell, like I was able to just have more time to do things I love. And I think that's the one thing we can't buy in this world. So if that's what it gives me,
Yeah.
to me, that's like
Yeah.
that's worth every penny in itself
Yeah.
already right there.
That's awesome. So perfect segue. What would
Yeah.
you like? No bullshit. What would you honestly tell someone
Yeah.
who's thinking about joining the coaching program?
I would say this is my biggest thing for coaching programs is you, especially working with you, is they have to be ready to learn. Because if you just want someone to just give you a plan and then pay a cheap dollar and then, results are okay, then don't work with you.
Yeah.
You're going to get what you paid for, and you're going to get more. It's going to be more expensive than probably your average coach or your average person that you might see on Instagram. But that value, in my opinion, I don't think has a dollar figure on it. Because at the end of the day, that's going to be most people's sticking point. They're going to say, we all see a price tag. I mean, we go to the grocery store. There's two avocados. If one's a dollar cheaper, I'm going to go for the dollar cheaper avocado. But I think when it comes to your body, like, and when it comes to like learning, this is like something that you just can't put a price tag on, because, like I said, I now have all this vocabulary throughout this whole call, talking about metabolism, talking about rebound diets, talking about cutting, talking about that. I had none of that before.
Right.
And I can then, give this to my friends, and they are like, oh, what about this? And I can, and the best part is, not only am I taking in this information, but I'm able to reciprocate it to other
Yeah.
people around me. That then shows how easily and how much I've learned, because you don't put it, that's the other thing. You don't put it in a way where it's like, obviously you've done this for years, over decades. And so you have this boatload of knowledge, but you don't make it feel like it's something I can't learn for someone who doesn't have that decades of knowledge. You
Right.
make it simple, you make it digestible, and then you make it able to be reciprocated and be able to be told to other people, which I think is the foundation of learning. And so that's why I say, like, if someone is looking to work with you, is be ready to learn because you're going to learn a lot, and be ready to ask questions and speak up and speak your mind, because that's what I did. Like,
Yeah.
if something wasn't working, I was like, hey, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't, like, my shoulder hurts when I do this. Like, don't do it. Like,
Yeah.
speak your mind. Like, I think that's the
Yeah.
thing that, like, I really appreciated, was I was able to say, like, hey, my body isn't responding well to this. Like, what can we do? Like, I'm either having pain, or this food that I'm taking in is not working for me. Like, I'm having digestion problems or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that was actually the other thing too. I mean, like, my skin and my digestion and like everything was like so much cleaner and clearer, and I'm not bloated. I'm not like, after I eat a meal, I'm not like sitting on the couch wanting to die, and then like acne all over my face and all this other stuff. Like, it
Right.
just, so many other benefits. So to kind of like wrap it all into one basically thing, I'd just say, like, be ready to learn. Uh, be ready to pay what you're gonna get for. Like, you will get value from this. So that price tag may look a little intimidating, like anything, like a new car, a new house, or anything, but it's an investment into yourself, and it's an investment into longevity. Like, I've talked about it, like we started in April and it's now 6 or 7 months later, and I've gotten 10 times the value that I paid for,
That's
because
awesome.
I'm able to now to like have those building blocks and say, like, hey, like, if I didn't want to work with you anymore, I feel like I can go out and do it on my own. But because I've had such a great results, I mean, why wouldn't I continue to work with you? Why would I go out? Because, like, imagine if I did this like if we're like continue to do this for a whole year, what I could get out of that whole year, and what I got just for 3 months. Like,
Yeah.
that's like, that's why I think like longevity and you build a relationship, which what I talked about early on was, I don't want to be viewed as a dollar figure.
Yeah.
I want to be viewed as like a relationship. And that's what we built, where it was like, I feel like he actually cares about my results and cares about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's kind of to sum it all up. And I'll add last thing is, like, there has to be accountability on your side. Like, you have to want to do this, not just half-ass it. Because as a coach yourself, is like, you want to have clients that are ready and committed to doing the hard things. Because I think about it, like, if you, like, I was in an unhealthy position, my body wasn't good, my mind wasn't good, my energy levels wasn't good, and I spent years being in that position. So am I just going to give up after 2 months of trying, when I've spent years doing the bad thing, but I'm now
Right.
just giving up after 2 months of doing the good? So it's like, people have to like
Right.
want to be consistent and want to be like kind of on themselves.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah. I remember one of my old coaches said it's an investment, a compounding investment, and it compounds very quickly based on your effort that you put into
100%.
it.
What?
Right.
And that's the best way to put it. Like, I mean, like, everything that we've talked about, if like, there's so many like keywords you could sum up this whole conversation to, but it's just like longevity. It's been I've built perfect routines. I've built sustainability. I think would probably be like the biggest word I'd put in this, because I've maintained my diet perfectly. I've I am probably one of the busiest and all over the place people too. So, if you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you're a kid in high school, if you're a player, like, I'll give you a good run for your money in terms of a schedule, because, like, today I could be here and then tomorrow I could be in,
Yeah.
Scotland. And that's
Yeah. That's
and that's the
happened.
craziest thing, is like, and that happened. Yes, exactly.
I'm
Like,
like, oh, I'm heading to London tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah, exactly. I headed to London, and then while I was in London, I had a spontaneous trip for a week in Scotland. But during
Yeah.
that whole time, like,
Yeah.
I had the best time of my life, and I was able to eat amazing food, and I maintained my weight and looked amazing. And it was like cool, like, I could do that. And so, I think when people say like, "Oh, I'm too busy," I think that's bullshit. It's just, you just haven't worked with somebody that's either structured or taught you the right time, or you just don't have good time management on your own side because it's doable. Like it really is because, you know, it comes down to meal prepping. That was one thing we learned a lot with you, which was like, meal prepping was huge. Like even just like small things like that saved me a lot of time. Like, and I think that was the biggest thing too, like able to make me more money was I can save time. How can I also use that time on other things rather than like cooking every night for an hour and a half and cleaning?
Yeah.
I spend my Sunday when I have those moments and I meal prep for 3 hours and I have my whole next week ahead of me.
Yeah.
And I'm able to have consistency. I'm able to own more of my time. I'm able to go see people I love. I'm like, there is not enough time that to explain like the amount of value out of that. So out of this whole thing. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'd be.
Nice, man. That's sick. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Appreciate you hopping on a call and talking
Always.
about the experience, obviously. But yeah, man, appreciate your time and yeah, I'm pumped for you. I've
Thank
been
you, bro.
seeing your content lately. It's been insane. If you guys go check out his page and see like he's got pictures, he did a photo shoot for Floyd Mayweather and like
Yeah.
who else have you shot with? You shot Drake's
I've
concert when he was here
shot
too. Like
Drake, I've Travis Scott, Floyd Mayweather, Marlon. I mean, you name it. A lot of sports teams, a lot of people. So yeah,
yeah, yeah, go check out his page. But I appreciate you, man, and hopping on a
always.
call with me. And yeah, I'm pumped to see what the future brings for you.
Me too. Well, thank you so much.